Here are 5 mistakes that you are doing on a DPS. Let's get started. And the number 1 mistake I see not only DPS but every single player of every single role is doing is either being in the wrong position or being in the right position at the wrong time, or being in the right position but over committing and exposing themselves to multiple threats. Let's take a look at this Pharah player. This is Platinum 5 and this guy is dead. If the lobby is a little bit higher, if the enemies are able to left click, if they have all fingers available to them, this guy is giga dead and there is nothing his Mercy player can do to save him. Simply because the second support is chilling in the spawn as a Moira, so there is nothing he can do. It's not like Ana who can double pocket you. So what you're gonna do instead, you want to hide behind the cover and shoot your projectiles when it comes to playing Pharah. Let's take a look at another example. This is a massive overcommitment. This guy is just exposing himself to Widow for absolutely no reason. You have to understand that you give value to this person only when you pick her. If you are playing corners, if you are playing covers, if you are playing in positions where it's pretty hard to hit you, right? You can be more of a deadly threat. So for example, if I were to be on Soldier here, I would definitely try to hide here and maybe sneak up some damage before I fall back and play point, maybe even play Arch right here, right? For a safer position, simply because my win condition is Pharah Mercy and I have to be careful because my healing is very limited to this Moira player. And again, not scripted at all. 5 seconds into the round, right? So he's going in, boom. Good Widow, dead. Absolutely nothing you can do about it, dead. Another example of the same mistake. We have a heavy brawl comp for both teams. Both teams want to press W, May wall, and get massive advantage. Look at those 2 players. Let's take a look at them one by one again. As you can see, we are going for engagement, and when you're playing Genji, you always want to have an escape route. You always want to have a place where you can retreat after you've spent your deflect, after you don't have any abilities on you to save yourself. So let's see what this Genji is doing, right? His Reinhardt is low HP, and they are kind of disengaging. He's wasting his deflect. And then like, yo, what a great day to just dash in, right? Boom, 0 cooldowns. So this person is completely out of cooldowns as well as the routes to escape. Where would you go? Let's pretend that this Mei is an absolute S tier player. He's got the wall soon. This dude could just walk out like this and just press left click, and that's gonna be over for this Genji player. There is nowhere to run. You can climb the wall here probably, but that is just what excuse me? Well, talking about bad positioning, right? Talking about bad positioning, let's go for this player. I mean, everyone is making them. I'm not exaggerating. Like, look at that. So while his team is fighting like I don't know, everyone is preparing, my boy is going for a flanking route. He's about to flank. That is a okay. Translocator there? Are you kidding me, man? I mean, man, you could have placed it right here, right? You could have placed it right here as well. So it's not so long. It's like 20 seconds, right, of your time. So you're going there. You're getting there, man. Surely you're gonna be just in time for that, right? Okay, so he's in time. Let's see what he's gonna do. As a Sombra player, you need to time your engage with your team, so you are not hacking the person at the wrong time simply because you hack early and you're gonna get focused. You hack late, half of your team is dead because you're just a failure as a DPS and Sombra, right? And then, like, notice how he's getting bullied by Brigade, and there is nothing he can do but just to relocate back there, man, and to run back. Oh no. Second mistake that every single DPS player is making is not training their aim hard enough. Watch my ultimate aim guide to really understand everything you need to know about aiming. This is a plat lobby level, and I swear to God, if I would click on every DPS here, there are 4 DPS in the game, each one of them has horrendous aim. Like, you would not believe how bad it is until you see it in replay. Make sure that you are warming yourself up properly and not going into a game with cold hands. Make sure that you are focusing on an opponent, not your crosshair. Make sure that you don't shoot before your crosshair is not on the enemy's head. Make sure that you are tracking smoothly. And for that, you need to aim train. Very, very important. Another thing I wanted to speak about is awareness. This is a massive one, and I see so many lower level players are making same mistakes where they don't even realize where opponents are and they are just going in without like noticing, like, look, there is a Sigma behind you that's literally can kill you, and there is nothing you can do about it. So there are multiple levels of awareness. First of all, you have to be aware of your teammates. This is really important, especially when you are playing a very hard character like Tracer. You have to understand how can you engage with your team, what are you supposed to do, what is going to be your role, are you a flanker, are you going to be a dive comp, is it going to be a comp where you just literally have to like sit back and distract backline, what is it gonna be? This is the first level of awareness. Next one, after 15 seconds of the game, you can see every single enemy character. You have to understand, you have to make a plan in your head. What are you going to do against those characters? Should you switch? Is your character really bad or really good against them, right? How can your team play against the enemy team? This is a second level. The third level is understanding your cooldowns and understanding the cooldowns of your team. Let's pretend that you have Ana and she has wasted a nade and you're playing a tank. For example, you understand that she will not have enough burst healing to save you if there is gonna be a moment like this, simply because she already wasted everything, right? You have to take care of the enemy cooldowns as well. This is really important. Does Sigma have a rock? Can I actually engage onto that Ana, or is she gonna sleep and nade me? Can I do something against this Symmetra? Does she have 3 turrets? Where are they? You have to really understand how to play around that. Fourth level is knowing where your opponents are. Where is that Mercy? Where is the Widowmaker? Where is the Sigma? You really need to understand how to deal with them and who should you approach and engage. Fifth level of awareness is when your teammates are, for example, you are playing with a dive tank and you are a tracer, you really need to look at him. You need to understand whether we can go for a combination, whether it's going to be a monkey jump or a pile drive from a wrecking ball. Sixth level of awareness is going to be ultimate tracking, whether it's your teammates or the enemy ones. You have to understand what kind of abilities do you have for the next fight, what kind of abilities do your opponents have for the next fight, what can you do, is there a way to kite that? Additional tip for awareness is tracking your opponent's ammo and the times they will reload, as this can be detrimental to your future success. Mistake number 4 is that as a DPS player, you are not taking care of the proper movement, making yourself an easy target for opponents. Let's take a look at the custom code Vaxta, as it has literally the best representation of how your movement and what your movement should be when you are a pretty new player, and then you're going for like plat level, then you're going for high diamond level, and this is going to be GM level, right? If you look at the very easy mode, everyone is running in straight lines. It's pretty easy to track their head. They are not juking you. They are just like running like bots, right? Because they are bots. So as you can see, when I run like this, it's pretty easy to aim, but I'm being a really easy target for the enemies as well. So what you have to do is you want to make sure that you are as accurate as possible while giving no opportunities to hit your head to your enemies. There are multiple ways that you can approach this situation. You can jump, you can crouch spam, or you can just AD. There are a few ways that you can improve every single one of that. Jumping is horrendous, as it's really easy to track you in the air. As you can see, this Genji is super easily trackable, right? As you would be on the soldier, right? What you can do with jumping is you can pretend that you are jumping right, and then like hold A and jump left. This will highly decrease your chances of being read like a book, and you will actually be able to escape some situations, right? With crouch spam, it's not so obvious. You really don't want to do that against enemies with high spread, such as Reaper, such as Pharah, such as Tracer, as you're just gonna be an easy target. But some characters who rely on hitting your head, just like Widowmaker, are gonna suffer when you will crouch spam like this. Make sure that your crouch button is binded to something spammable. For example, mine is spammed at C, so it's making me easier to like access that with my thumb, instead of me being like binded to control, where I literally have to like aim really. It will take longer to aim for me with my pinky. Going for an easier mode, right, where bots change direction every 0.75/1.75 seconds. It's a lot harder to hit those players. They are moving in AD directions. Like, as you can see, the Pharah player is using his thrusters in a better way. He's like not wasting all of them to fly up and then like flying down. He's going for smooth movement. Echo is also pretty hard to hit. So this is nice. This is like easy level, but still so much harder than it was on very easy, right? So you can still perfectly track this Cassidy or this Ashe, for example. There is nothing interesting about those players. Going for normal level, right, or they are changing directions in a faster way. As you can see, this Lucio is a hard target. Like, in the heat of a battle, it will take a lot of time to kill that person. Like, you literally have to, not only that you have to aim at him, but you have to make sure that you are moving like the way that opponents cannot kill you as well, right? So this can be exceptionally hard. As you can see, you have more AD movements. This Widow is constantly moving his positioning. Not only he's pressing like AD, and he's pressing W as well sometimes, just to kind of like, yeah, look at that Ashe. Pretty hard to hit her, right? So she's going for some moves. And when we're going for the final level, you can see that the enemies are pretty hard to hit. As you can see, they are moving their directions. And if you want to learn movement, you can actually mimic that. Notice how this Ashe is pretty hard to hit right now. Let's take a look at this Widow. Like, yeah, good luck hitting that in the head. Well, of course you can, but it will take you longer. And as a player, you really want to input as much damage as possible while requesting as little health as possible. So the worst case scenario is that you are constantly spamming I need healing button while dealing 0 damage, right? And the best case scenario is when you are not pressing I need healing at all and you are self-sustained and you are self-sufficient, and like your supports can actually focus on healing the tank, which will give you space and in the long run win you more games, because this game is all about you staying alive and, again, outputting as much damage as possible. As you can see, this Tracer is pretty hard to hit, man. Like, he's constantly blinking around. There are like a few things that you can do, right? So movement is super duper important. And last and final mistake that we're gonna speak about today is going to be forcing yourself onto playing bad characters, as well as forcing yourself playing against your counters. Let's pretend that you are on team 1 and you are this beautiful and amazing Bastion player that wants to play Bastion, and you are this Thor player that really wants to play Thor, and you are this player that wants to play Lifeweaver, and you are this player that wants to play Zenyatta. What is the worst thing that can happen to you? Right, Hanzo. If this player is good, he will absolutely destroy all of you. What can you do? You can swap something to counter this player, to make him suffer and get rid of his win condition, simply because there are characters that are so much better against your characters. Another example of bad character choice and how it can ruin your game. If you don't have at least 1,000 hours on Junkrat, highly advise you to swap to a character that can literally counter their whole setup. So if you take a look at the yellow team, right? If you take a look at the yellow team, what is going to be one character that will absolutely shut down everyone on this team? It's going to be a hard character. You will have to spend time learning it. But when you do, these players are gonna go from, oh god, what do I do against Pharah Mercy, to, oh, Pharah Mercy, a really easy one. And it's going to be Echo. For Echo, highly advise you to check out my 10-hour Echo challenge. Go for unranked to GM Echo. Watch a dude on Twitch called Beep Cheap, as he is consistently streaming, and you can actually take some advice from him. So imagine you are playing Echo instead of the Junkrat. You are flying up, you can sticky up the Bastion in like in this transform form. You can go for 2 shots onto the Pharah and then beam him to death. You can go for Ana, who's just standing still and not suspecting anything, yet you are just suffering tremendously on the Junkrat with no real value. So yeah, that was it for today's video. Make sure that you are asking questions in the comment section if you have any. See you in the next one. Take care.